All right, fight fans, welcome to another edition of No Standard 8 Boxing Talk. As you can see, I shared the screen with my man Abraham here, big boxing enthusiast. Abraham, why don't you tell everybody, who a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what boxing platform you work on, and and what you bring to the boxing game.
Hey everyone, my name is Abraham. I write for NewYorkFights.com. You can follow me on Twitter at AbeG718. Been doing this for a few years now, and I like to bring different type of content to the site, whether it's a Q&A, whether it's a peek around the curve for the following quarter or year, but just kind of give a different perspective on boxing and not so much of the regular press release news or anything like that. So I'm just here. I'm excited to be talking boxing with you.
I appreciate it, man. So, a little thing. This is funny. A little thing about both of us is we're both veterans. So I'm a retired Army veteran. He's currently in the Marines, uh, and we're both from the Bronx. So how in the boxing world of Twitter we were able to find each other is I think something in the Bronx water. We let off a scent. And you're all the way out of California. You're all the way out of California. So yeah, but anyway, we gotta take a few minutes here to discuss some upcoming fights. Couple fights this weekend. There's a lot going on in boxing, but we're gonna take a few minutes to talk about what we got going on this weekend. We're gonna talk about what we would like to see in 2021, and then maybe freestyle a little bit of some of the stuff that's been going on in the boxing world. So first off, we got who we got this week? We got Joshua and Pulev.
Yeah, Joshua and Pulev. Looks like a heavyweight title fight. Everyone gets excited about heavyweight fights, right? The
Yeah,
zone has
absolutely.
been putting out commercials on paid advertisement on like TNT and ESPN. Excuse me. And so they're really trying to hype this up. The zone is global now, so want to get that large audience. But it's Joshua Pulev, and I don't expect it to be a gladiator match. It's not going to be exciting, but I think that Joshua is going to pull out the victory and maybe even a late stoppage.
Yeah, so here's the deal, man. You're right, man. The heavyweight division in boxing is known as the darling division. Uh, and the reason why people love the heavyweight division and why it gets so much flack lately is because when you combine that pure power that the heavyweight division brings, those big guys with the gracefulness of and the signs of boxing, and with the speed, when all that comes together, it's a beautiful thing to watch. And the heavyweight division for years has graced us with some great fights. And 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 real quick, I don't want to deviate, but what's killed the heavyweight division in recent years was the invention of football. Uh, American football killed and basketball. So big guys who normally, before football became popular, would normally go pick up boxing gloves. They started gravitating to football. So what you're having now is a bunch of heavyweights who, for lack of better terms, are failed athletes in other sports, and they
Yeah.
look at boxing as their saving grace to continue in athletics. Uh, so that's why we're not getting some of the great heavyweight matches that we got in yesteryears. But nevertheless, there are some good heavyweights out there. And Joshua, for me, it's a good one. Uh, but for me, he lacks something. And Andy Ruiz took something out of his air. And I think a lot of that was just confidence. And that happens a lot with a lot of British fighters. They dominate so well, then they lose, and they just totally lose their confidence. And then never, I'm not gonna say never, but they fail to capture that that aura of what they once were. So Ruiz took a lot of the air off of Joshua. So, and I didn't see much confidence in him again in the rematch. He played it very safe. So I don't know what Joshua we're going to get Saturday. Uh, so, however, with that being said, I think of the two fighters, he is the better one.
Yeah.
So I expect him to pull out a. I'm going to disagree with you on the stoppage. I expect him to pull out a decision because again, the confidence factor. Pre Ruiz, I probably would agree with the stoppage because he has it all. When he puts it all together, he knocks people out as we saw with Klitschko and we saw with a couple other British fighters that he fought that he knocked out. But we'll see. I'm pulling for him. I hope that we see the Joshua of old, that he comes in explosive and he pulls out a knockout. But nevertheless, it should be a good fight. I don't think it's gonna be a bad fight. And then
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that the only reason why I would say late stoppage is because he knows that a big performance on Saturday means the calling of the mega fight between him and Fury. And so if he has a stale performance, maybe it takes a little bit off of that shine off of that.
you're absolutely right, man. So there's something that motivates anybody. I don't care if you're a boxer, a lawyer, or a stripper. Is money. So
That's right.
I'll give you the edge on that one. So we'll see. We'll keep Twitter posted, and we'll keep the Twitter world posted as the fight goes along. The next fight is the Ryan Garcia fight. Is that happening this weekend?
No. So the Garcia is in January. This one, this weekend would be a Berlanga. Berlanga is fighting.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
that cat. Go ahead, you go first, man.
So Edgar Balenga, he is something else. He's touching a lot of the media outlets in New York that aren't traditional boxing media outlets, but are more so along with like pop culture media outlets, the hip hop industry and stuff like that. So he's kind of getting his name to where people from New York are really getting behind him. And I think this is all going towards, him headlining a Madison Square Garden in June, event at some point, whether it's next year or the following year. So he's doing all the groundwork right now, which I could appreciate. As far as boxing skills, like we haven't seen him go past the first round or second round. We want to see him go into with one of those crafty veterans that is going to go in there, hold him, hit him with a forearm, kind of lean on him a little bit, and see how he reacts then. But right now, there's just a whole lot to like about him. He's got the punching power, he's got the looks, he's got the charisma, he's got it all. It's just a matter of watching him fight against somebody that is going to give him the rounds. And then on this Saturday, I don't know if that's that guy, but we'll probably see him, maybe go to the second round this time. If
Yeah,
not,
man.
it'll be a first round knockout.
Yeah, listen, there's not much to disagree with what you said. There's not much to disagree there. I agree with you. I think he's a good-looking kid. I think he's charismatic. I think he speaks well. He has everything we want to see in a fighter, and he draws fans, especially casual fans with knockout powers. Man, casual fans love the knockouts. And don't get me wrong, I've been watching boxing for years. I love knockouts too. So, but again, we can't judge him on anything further because we haven't seen it much. And I'd be guilty of it too, man. I said the same thing about Teofimo as far as boxing skills go, and he released a little statement the other day along with the video on pads, saying, "Man, a lot of people say I don't have boxing skills and I can't go 12 rounds," and then he put the pad work. But like Teddy Atlas said about Mike Tyson when he was throwing pads, he's like, "Pads don't hit back." So we
Right.
we got to see what happens when he gets in there where somebody's going to test that. So, hey, Abe, in your opinion, who's that person? Who's that person that division is going to test Berlanga like that?
Ooh, I don't know.
What journeyman? I'm not talking about the top champs, but what journeyman in that division you think is going to rough him up, give him that little elbow, hold him?
I think the name is escaping me right now. The one that has the brother that fights as well, or that he retired from Flint. Man, like is escaping me right now. He just fought a little while ago, but I think he will. He's the type of guy. But right now, I don't even know if he's gonna fight anymore. I can't remember his name right now. It just escaped me. But a guy like him would be probably a good test. But he's a little older. I don't know. I mean, another thing is who in Top Rank or in Golden Boy is going to be able to fight him at 168 and give him a hard time. I don't know if they necessarily have those type of guys. I believe a lot of those guys are on the PBC side, and so it'll be rough, for him to get a fight like that.
Yeah.
But maybe later on down the road he fights, maybe a Billy Joe or somebody like that. But I mean, right now it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing we do know about boxing, he's gonna come to that fight. That fight, regardless of the name, he's gonna face somebody that A could take his power
Mm-hmm.
and B could dish it out.
Yep.
So we'll see how he reacts to it. I mean, the guy behind me, he had to do it. Eventually, he came up against somebody that took him the distance, and how he reacted well to it. All right, man. So yeah, I don't think this weekend is the guy. We could expect another knockout this weekend from Berlanga. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's going to be another first round knockout. But I hope it isn't, so we can see a little bit more. And also, too, man, maybe his corner uh, could tell him, hey, man, why don't you just ease off the power a little bit, show your boxing skills, and maybe knock him around round 3 and 4, because that up and coming kid, the Puerto Rican kid from Florida, Zayas, he
Yeah, Xander Zayas.
did that in one of his fights. He laid back a little bit and
Yeah.
purposely went up to the unanimous decision to get some work in. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad tactic. But then again, people may argue that it could open you up to get knocked out too. So
Yeah.
in boxing, the faster you end the fight, the better. I guess. I don't know.
You don't get paid. You don't get paid for overtime.
You don't get paid for overtime. That's right. All right, man. So what is 2021 bringing us, Abe? What do you think?
Whew. I think it's Spence versus Manny Pacquiao.
Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. Manny
Yep.
Pacquiao's licking his chops, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it happens in Cowboy Stadium, and if they allow max capacity, they'll probably have about 80K in there, because you got to think about it. Against Clottey, he had 55,000. Manny Pacquiao did against Margarita. I think it was like 46.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically 50,000 people that came to see Manny Pacquiao fight. Now you throw on top of that, the 16,000 that came to see Spence fight on Saturday, and then however number he did against Mikey, they could very well do 80,000.
Right.
And that would be a really, really big fight in Dallas.
Yeah, no, I like it. I hope you see it. I think Manny's still game. Even with his age here. What Manny's not going to be is not prepared. He's going to go prepared. What happens is totally up to Spence. So what the outcome of that fight is going to be dictated by Spence, because Manny Pacquiao is going to be Manny Pacquiao. It doesn't matter if it's 18-year-old Manny Pacquiao or 43-year-old Manny Pacquiao. He's going to be Manny Pacquiao. He's going to be in shape. He's going to be disciplined. He's going to be no nonsense. He's going to go in there and give us a show, man. Maybe Jeff Horn could be the referee. I'm going to hold off our predictions on that fight, but anyway, I don't mind seeing that fight, man. If it happens, I'll come back with analysis prediction. That'd be great. Will we ever see Spencer Crawford?
I think if we do, it's 2022.
Wow, that far along?
Yeah, because I think 21 for Spence is going to be Pacquiao and Thurman.
Okay, Thurman.
Yeah.
Really? Even after Spencer's pettiness?
Yes, I think Thurman gets that fight like later on in 22. Remember, with the Crawford contract expiring in October, if he fight, let's say he does go to the PBC, they're not just gonna do the Spence fight right away. Like, they have to, put him on Fox against somebody, maybe a Danny Garcia at that point. Get him like one of those type of wins, Crawford, and then to set up the Spence fight in 2022. But then by then, Crawford would be 35. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll probably lose.
Yeah, every year that goes by of boxing, man, it's like boxers age in dog years. So every year that goes by, these boxers age 7 years, 10 years. So I hate that about boxing, man. Some of these fights get made when they're not supposed to be made, and but hey, it's been going on since the history of boxing, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. But nevertheless, we'll buy it, we'll watch it, and we'll stay close to it. So, does Deontay Wilder get back in the ring in 2021?
Woo! You mean 2020? Yeah, 2021. I think he does. He fights that big tall guy over at PBC. I can't remember his name. I'm bad with names today. Cletus, I think is his name. I think he maybe fights him on the comeback, and then he fights Andy Ruiz.
I
I
like
think
that.
that's
And listen, this is not scripted. We are totally freestyling this because you guys know I'm from the Bronx. I like to freestyle boxing, not rap. I can't freestyle rap music. But you and I are thinking the same thing, man. And a buddy of mine named Dennis, he's from the Bronx too, man. Uh, I would like to see Ruiz and Wilder, man.
yeah.
I think
I
that's a good fight for both of them.
That's a good fight for both of them. And I think that the winner of that fight, rightfully so, should get another crack at the title in 2022.
Yeah, man. Look, they're gonna get an argument from there. I think Ruiz brings enough of that boxing threat that Wilder needs, because that's what Tyson Fury gave him trouble with. Uh, I think I think Ruiz gets his chin tested a little bit by that right hand, and if he can survive that, we'll see. But what Wilder does in 2021 is totally dependent on him. I believe.
Absolutely.
I think he needs to stop the whining. I think he needs to stop the excuses. And even if they are all true, let's just say I made a video about this about the outside Wilder, and I was defending Mark Breland in that video. Uh, but I think at some point you got to get off the pity wagon and start focusing on what's ahead, and it's regaining the world heavyweight championship. Okay, it's regaining that. And what do you do? Obviously, you got to make some changes. Obviously, you've hit a level of the fight game where your lack of boxing experience has been exposed. Okay, so and I don't like the word exposed, but in this case, I think it fits because we've all said it. Us boxing purists said it. That I said it. That Deontay Wilder's right hand has carried him as far as it's going to take him. Now he's fighting that level of fighters in the division that are going to test that boxing skill. You know, if they can withstand the right hand. Luis Ortiz tested his boxing skill, but unfortunately, he could not withstand the right hand. Tyson Fury could. I mean, he got off the mat. Long count or not long count. Most people would have been asleep anyway. The fact that he got up in 10 or 11 seconds, it doesn't matter. He got up. So, so he has to make some changes, you know. And one of the changes, he needs to get a coach, a real coach, not one that's going to tell him what he wants to hear, or tell him like, oh, he hurts my arm every time he hits it. No, he needs to bring Mark Breland back. If it isn't Mark Breland, bring somebody in of the caliber, of Mark Breland. You know, Ronnie Shields, Buddy McGurk, somebody that could help you. But I don't know, man. It's like a bad golfer. If I was to take golfing lessons now, I don't think they could help me, brother.
Yeah, I think Wilder, and another thing is Wilder gets hurt. Seems like after every fight, whether it's a bicep, whether it's a hand thing. Like he's been getting hurt in the last few fights, almost every fight. So I don't know who knows what he has left. And I mean, he's not a young guy either. I think he's 35 already. So
yeah. He's getting up there. He's getting up there. What do you think about De La Hoya making a comeback? Not an exhibition. He's actually thinking of a legit comeback, man.
Yeah, so I think that has been something that was discussed for a while because I think in that lawsuit they said with the Canelo lawsuit that De La Hoya was like a legitimate opponent for Canelo potentially, and that they would classify. I think, as bad as it sounds, like De La Hoya might try to fight somebody. He might try to fight Canelo. I mean, it makes sense like for the storytelling portion of it, but I think he would try to fight Canelo or I'm trying to think someone else at 160. I don't know who else he could fight that
I
would
wouldn't
make
mind
sense.
seeing him fight if they could meet at a catch weight, or I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Danny Jacobs or Gabe. You know, I think those are two good fights. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching because I'm a De La Hoya fan, man. So
Yeah. And you don't know. De La Hoya's been, he's been doing this thing. He's been training and stuff. I guess we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what he's got and go from there. I mean, he's been out of the ring a long time. So
yeah, man. So hey, listen, we're gonna wrap this up here in the next few minutes. It's a Friday night. I know you got some things to do, man, and some boxing, some writing, some catch up stuff to do. I got a 2-year-old grandson out there. It's like I could hear him right now. But I want you to go out with this, man. So, who do you specifically, or what fight specifically, do you want to see in 2021.
Fight that I really want to see, and I hope that it actually gets made is Chocolatito Gonzalez versus Gallo Estrada 2. Like, that's the one I want to see. And I really hope that gets made, because I think that the winner of that fights the winner of Tanaka Ioka that's on New Year's Eve. And talk about an explosive Superfly main event.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I want to see that next year.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't want to wait till 2022, man. I want to see Spencer Crawford as fast as I can. I know that's my dream fight. I want to see that, almost immediately. But I kind of want to see. I want to see these lightweights start fighting each other. Mm-hmm. So I want Tank Davis to fight either Ryan Garcia, Haney, or Teofimo. So I want the lightweight division, the welterweight division, to with the military, we got a nasty way of saying unscrew themselves.
Yeah.
So I want those two divisions to unscrew themselves and give the fans the fights that we want to see. I think everybody needs to start taking a page out of Teofimo's book, man, and start calling out fighters and start actually coming through with it, and not asking for ridiculous demands that no promoters aren't going to pay for, like $10 million. I'll be alluding to Keith Thurman asking for $10 million to fight Spence. Or which one was it, Crawford?
Crawford. Yeah.
Crawford. I want to see Porter back in the ring against somebody. So no, the top guys, not this guy he's fighting now. And I want to see Porter. I think Porter still brings a lot to the table in that division. I think he's a tough fight for anybody. And I remember what I was going to ask you. Do you want to see any more of Adrian Broner to wrap it up?
No, but I feel like we are, whether it's on Showtime or a Circus pay-per-view event exhibition, because he owes $4 million. The court found him that he's got to pay $4 million, so he's gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So we will see Adrian Broner one way or the other next year.
Okay, man, that sounds good. So, hey, this was great, man. I would love to collaborate with you a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know you're in the military. And I'm retired, but I still work with the military folks on post. So we'll stay in contact. We'll come up. I think for the next time we do this, man, just keep it in the back of your mind. Let's talk these YouTube brothers. Let's talk about those guys and see. Yeah, man. I don't want to, but I almost have to. You know, Jake and Paul, is it?
Yeah, Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. Let's talk about those two, and what what are they doing in boxing, right, wrong, or indifferent? And yeah, we'll start off with that, and we'll talk about Mike Tyson if we ever want to see him, fight another exhibition again.
Yeah.
And then we'll start leading to some more serious topics after that. All right.
Yep,
hey, before we hang up, man, go ahead and give everybody your contact information. How can they find you? How can they find your articles, your videos?
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at AbeG718. There I have links to my articles, or you can go to NewYorkFights.com, and my articles will be on there.
Okay, I'm the Bronx Bomber. As always, you can find me on Twitter with the handle The Bronx Bomber, and you can find me on YouTube with No Standing 8, where I put my videos up. And listen, this was fun. I look forward to doing it again. And till next time, man, look forward to two Bronx brothers collaborating here in the future.
Yep.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, man.